Hi, I'm a middle-aged guy who just had a baby and suddenly decided now would be the perfect time to start hosting YouTube videos. I bet you're wondering how I got here. In 2019, our production team released our first documentary, Geek, and You Shall Find. We got some play at film festivals and other events, and were soon picked up for distribution by Gravitas Ventures. By the end of that year, we were on Amazon Prime and several other streaming platforms. Most recently, got picked up by YouTube Movies and TV. No, I didn't know that was a thing either, but they've got 176 million subscribers, so apparently they're doing something right. So what am I doing here? Especially considering I'm used to being on the other side of that camera where I'm much more comfortable. Well, I thought maybe I could share some of our experiences from our filmmaking process. Everything moved really fast for us from start to finish, and we were kind of forced into a crash course, not just on filmmaking, but things like distribution deals, promotion, E&O insurance. We didn't even know what E&O insurance was, and that alone was just a monumental task, learning everything we could about it in as short a time period as possible. So hopefully I can save you guys a bunch of time by kind of giving you the rundown on what those things are in advance, so at least you're not caught off guard as we were at times during the process. I really am passionate about documentary filmmaking, and if I can help out in just some way to someone out there making a great film, that would really mean the world to me. So that's what I want to do. As far as the origins of Superhero Faces Productions and Geek and You Shall Find, I've always been interested in stories. All types of stories, from ancient mythology to some of the newer stuff like Star Wars, Game of Thrones. More specifically, I've been really interested in the inspirations behind these stories and the parallels they all share with one another. So, more than a decade ago, I started on a book focusing on these topics. A good friend of mine, Arvind Singham, is an incredible graphic designer, so we got together and started discussing what the book might look like. And right around this time, another friend of ours, Kelsey Dickerson, expressed an interest in doing some more on-camera stuff. She really wanted to get more opportunities in front of the camera to do reporting, conducting interviews. At the time, we were working with a sports team, so she was interviewing some of the players on the team and wanted to really get some more experience doing that and becoming more and more comfortable in front of the camera. So we thought about maybe her doing some of the videos that discuss some of the topics we were focusing on in the book, and then maybe we can incorporate some kind of element whether it be a QR code that you scan when reading the book, that a video could pop up and give you some more information about that particular subject. And we thought, doing these videos too could really help us build an audience to promote the book once it was completed. The three of us started visiting comic conventions together, and she really took the lead as far as the interviews I had been doing for the book. She was getting more and more comfortable just jumping on camera with people, speaking to them about cosplay, why were they dressed up as the characters they were dressed up as, what was it about those characters that resonated with them. And we were really having a good time during this process. We're all really good friends, so it was great just getting the chance to travel together, do something we all enjoyed. And we were really blown away by some of the answers and responses we were getting from some of these cosplayers, and thought maybe there's an opportunity to do something even bigger here than what we had originally intended. Then just a few months after we'd really gotten rolling, I got let go of a job that I'd had for 11 plus years. It was really tough, obviously, especially at the time. But, I kind of felt like I wanted to make the most of this opportunity, and I thought, what can I do now so that I can look back on this time and maybe be thankful that this happened, maybe feel that it was fortunate even, as much as that seemed difficult at the time because of how crappy an experience it was. I kind of felt it was important to make the most of that opportunity. I knew I'd be able to go by 2-3 months without having a 9-to-5, and I said, what can I do during this period that would allow me to look back and maybe think this was a great opportunity for me, and almost even be thankful that it happened. So I decided at this point, let's just go all in on the videos. Working on a book was something I knew I could do while having a 9-to-5. You could work a regular 9-to-5 job, come home, grind out on the book a little bit, but doing interviews and traveling to comic conventions all across the country, that's not really something you can do while working a full 9-to-5. It's obviously a lot tougher to just drop everything and go to Los Angeles because you have the chance to interview Stan Lee all of a sudden. So I said we really should just go all in right now while we have this opportunity, and that's when Geek and You Shall Find really started to gain a lot of steam and momentum. And so began that crazy roller coaster ride. Literally had us going from coast to coast, trying to better understand what it is about Star Wars, Game of Thrones, what is it about these fictional universes that resonate with us. It was really fun to speak with people about something we were passionate about and really getting to learn a lot about ourselves and the world around us during this process. You know, like I mentioned, we did interview a lot of cosplayers, but we also got to interview a lot of the creators who made these fictional characters and these worlds that we all are familiar with and love. Like, we interviewed Kevin Eastman, the co-creator of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Interviewed Stan Lee, which was obviously incredible, responsible, you know, for co-creating some of my favorite fictional superheroes of all time. Spoke to George R. R. Martin, which, again, all three of us are big Game of Thrones fans, so that was an out-of-this-world experience. And we're going to do a separate video about that whole experience, because that's just a story that we still can't believe it happened and how close it came to all falling apart. I did eventually have to go back to a 9-to-5 as I anticipated, but fortunately by that time we'd gotten enough content built up that we were really able to jump into the editing process. And that's when Nick Williams came on board. He watched a lot of what we got and really thought there was something that could be made of this. And he's one of the most talented people I know. He's an extraordinary editor and was able to really make this stuff look a lot better than it did. Was able to build out graphics that just really carried this film and really made it something that we were much more proud to display to people and start showing it to people and getting their feedback on. We're still getting a lot of great feedback on the film, and we're really appreciative for that. And we're looking forward to, specifically on this channel, kind of talking about what we're working on next. We got something cool going on that we really are excited about, and it's just been such an incredible experience. And hopefully pretty soon we can start sharing a little bit more about this project and start letting people know, like, what's next. That's the biggest question we've been asked ever since we finished is, so what are you guys working on next? What are you guys working on next? So hopefully now we can start sharing some of that and giving you guys an idea of what it might look like. So I started this video kind of saying I was going to discuss a little bit about who I am, why I started working on superhero faces, how Geek and You Shall Find came to be, and I really hope over the course of these videos, like I said, we do want to share some of the tips and tricks we learned about lighting and all of these things we had to kind of learn as we went. And I really want to be able to hopefully save some people some time by sharing those ups and downs. But I really also hope that I can discuss how fiction has helped me learn a lot about who I am. And I believe that fiction in many ways holds the key to unlocking our innermost potential. And I think by starting to get a better idea of why we're passionate about this, you know, phenomena that is superhero movies or Star Wars or Star Trek, Game of Thrones, once we start to better understand what it is about these fictional stories that we gravitate towards, I really think we can better ourselves as well in the process. Next time I'll be joined none other by Kelsey Dickerson. She offers much different insight than I can give as far as prepping for on-camera interviews, doing stand-ups. But before that, she and I are going to talk about that George R. R. Martin story that I mentioned, kind of share that story of what almost became just a catastrophe and ended up being a great opportunity to speak with George R. R. Martin. So we will see you all then, and I'm really looking forward to it. Awkward wave goodbye.